Wait. Okay. Let's see. I was in such a bad mood this morning. I was filming content and I totally could not get it right at all whatsoever. And then, since I moved, I've been checking out new places to eat. And I found this incredible place to eat. And I was like, just give me what the special is. And they gave me, it's called a honey mustard chicken sub. And I was like, well, maybe, because I'm a Miami girl. I do love my Publix subs. At one point, I bit one of my fingers because I was trying to get the food in. It was so good. It was crazy. All right. So we are talking about course mistakes. La, 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 la. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I know that I don't always get started right away, but it is pouring. I would turn the camera around to show you. It is pouring here. Like it's supposed to rain all weekend, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to the beach. But yeah. Okay, so let me get my notes out because we have a lot to talk about today. Okay, so I'm going to start off. What is this? Oh, property manager. I'm going to start off by just telling you something that happened to me this week because it is actually just defies logic in a lot of ways. So I am a marketing copywriter and I am a instructional designer for a corporation that I'm sure you guys know about if I were to say the name. But I'm not going to say the name because it is, I don't know why I'm not saying the name. But it is, oh, hi, Peter Cook. I was thinking that's so funny this morning when I was getting ready for my live. I had my black shirt on, I had my glasses on, I had my dark wavy hair, and I was like, I look like Peter Cook. So that's so funny that you're joining. How are you today? No, that's great. That's great. So I'm just talking about online courses and the online courses and the mistakes that are super common to doing online courses. And it's funny because so I work for a very, oh, there's two balloons in the distance. I work for a very large corporation. If I were to say their name, you guys would know right away. And I'm actually surprised I'm not wearing a shirt. My wardrobe is either Spot Pet Insurance or this corporation. And so I am the instructional designer for new hire training. I'm marketing copywriter and new hire instructional designer. So what that means is I design the modules, I design the videos, I design everything that goes into helping people learn. And part of that is we use a software called Vyond, Vyond, and it does animation. And so it's just basically cartoons for adults because here's the thing. Adults love cartoons. Like that's why Adult Swim is so popular. I actually had an ex who was into I cannot remember the name of the cartoon right now. It had Maurice. I can see the little characters, but I don't know who they are. But anyways, he loved that. And like Adult Swim is popular because adults love cartoons. But here is the trick with animation. They love the visuals of animation. They do not love the audio of animation. So I have been recording my voice all week on these videos, and it's funny because my regular voice and my recorded voice are so different. In college, I did a radio program. I was a DJ. I don't even remember what my DJ name was. It was probably something very late 90s, like Nova or something like that. And I like have my little radio voice, I call it. So I've been doing that all week. So here is a tip for you. Adults love the visual of animations. They don't love the audio, so record your own voice. So I was doing a webinar because I didn't have a lot of money in my 20s or 30s or and beyond. I had to do everything myself. I had to be very self-sufficient, and I'm not cosplaying that I had to be independent. I genuinely had to be independent. Like, if I could show you the hole in the wall I lived in for 20 years, you'd be horrified. And now that I live in a much better place, I'm horrified. But the whole point of that story was, that was a tangent. But I love webinars, and part of being in a webinar is you have to learn new things all the time, because not only is marketing changing, everything else is changing as well. So I was in this webinar and there was a woman there and she was like, hey, I teach second grade. She does the equivalent of the DARE program. I don't remember what the DARE program is called nowadays, but it's the DARE program. And she was like, my kids hate the cartoons. So she uses Beyond. She said, my students hate cartoons. They feel like they're big boys and big girls, and that's little kid stuff. And I chimed in, well, adult learning is very different, because adults, the world is a crazy place, and adults want to have some fun where they can, like good, clean fun while they can. So they're not necessarily looking for cut and dry information. That is what I was doing content earlier, and I was saying tight and dry, cut and dry information. Oh my God, Jasmine, thank you for joining. So I'm just sharing about how this week I was at a webinar, not yours, because I was dying for yours, but I was at a webinar, and how one of the women in there, because I use animation software at my job for new hire training, and this woman taught second grade, and she was saying about how her second graders hate the cartoons, that it's, baby stuff, and they don't like it. And she was like, do adults like it? And so I had to like jump in on the webinar and be like, adult learning is very different from child learning. So whereas kids don't want to have anything that makes them feel like a baby, adults love anything that's fun for them. That's why programs like Adult Swim are really popular. People, especially adults, have so much going on in their lives that wherever they can have good, clean fun, they're going to try to have it. So then I went on this whole thing about how adult learning and child learning are different. And the number one thing that people don't understand with with adult learning is they want to have a sense of easiness. They want to be able to feel like they can handle whatever learning they have to do. Because a lot of times people are learning, yes, for personal reasons, but a lot of times they're also learning for professional reasons. And you have to make things easy for them. But I will tell you a really great tip, something that I learned that was even news to me. Adults love the visuals of cartoons, but they do not like the AI generated voices. They hate them. So what I had to do was, once I found that out, I had to re-record all of my training videos so that people did not get turned off, because a lot of times people who aren't writers or don't deal with people very much, they think AI is the greatest thing ever, and oh my God, it makes your job so much easier. But the problem is when you read AI, a lot of people have a voice that reads along with them. And it can detect that it's AI, and it kind of sounds like, I liken it to, it sounds like a tin can in an alleyway. And it is, oh my God, it's horribly annoying. It's horribly, horribly, horribly annoying. So if you are doing animation for your courses, make sure, no. You guys, I don't know who some of you are. I'm not inviting you to join my live. I did that one time, and it was a deeply disturbing and unpleasant experience. So I am not going to do that again. Oh my God. Yeah, that was a weird experience once, not doing it again. So anyways, if you're doing animation for your courses, do the voiceovers in your own voice. Do not use AI, because the learners do not like it. What else? Okay, so the most common mistakes that we see in online courses, and kind of like the fixes for them, or as you say in feng shui, the cures for inauspicious places. You guys, if you could you please tap the likes, tap the screen, so that people will know. Okay. So let's start with the mistakes. Okay. First thing is, you don't need a lot of technology for your course. You do not need a lot of technology for your course. You do, however, need the basics of technology. So for example, we almost all have an iPhone or an Android phone. I've never had an Android phone, so I don't know the ins and outs of that. But get yourself an iPhone. You can film movies. I don't know if he's on here, but Noah's Ark, he's on Instagram. Noah's Ark films everything from like his iPhone, and it's, my God, it's incredible. So you don't need a lot of technology. You do not need to be a tech guru to be successful in your online course creation, but you do need some tech. And here is some of the tech that you need. Your course material cannot be dense. You cannot have blocks and blocks of text. You need to break that up. And the way that you break that up is you have Canva. So and there's free Canva accounts. There was a course I did for a dancer. Oh my God, such a gorgeous, gorgeous girl, for a dancer. And she and I like put visuals in Canva for her, because I'm not only a course creator, I'm also, and this is very new. This is very new. It was not on my bingo card for 2024. I'm actually now a graphic designer and I don't even know how you would call it, an animation specialist, because I have all my courses in Vyond, and I do all my modules in Rise, and then I do a lot of graphic design in Canva. And yeah, that may not sound like a lot, because Canva is just basically templates, but you can get really good at doing those templates. So I recommend Canva for sure. You have to you have to block your information. You have to get it together, all of that good stuff. And you have to make it visually interesting, because remember, adults are visual. They want to see that something looks good. It's like going over to someone's house and it's messy. So you don't want that. It is incredibly hot in my house. I'm going to have to turn on the AC a little bit lower. But get yourself a free Canva account, and that's going to break up your text. Okay. The next thing that you can do is get on a hosting platform. So I strongly suggest Udemy. People love Kajabi, Thinkific, Teachable. Those are all fabulous. Okay. Whichever one you want to go to is the right one. Okay. And I can work with any of the platforms. So don't worry about, oh, that's not the right platform for me. I don't like that platform. We'll figure it out. But you need a hosting platform because, and this was controversial when I said it at the time, I do not recommend that you sell your courses from your website because that is a free for all for hackers. A lot of business owners don't understand that selling something 24/7 requires a 24/7 IT staff. Do you write books or something? Yes, I've written more than 40 business books. I've ghosted more than 40 business books, and I've written 234 courses for small business owners and corporations. So yes, I am a writer. I've been a writer for, God, it seems like a century now. And I've generated 153 million for my clients. So you could say that I am I'm an established writer, thank God. I don't know what beginner writers are doing with AI, because I know a lot of companies are now looking to AI. Now they're starting to see AI as a tool rather than the end all and be all. But I think about a year ago, it was like starting to be a little scary. So you have to have a, okay. Can you, Ampari, can you, oh, thank you. You guys, please just keep tapping the screen. Thank you so much. Tap as many times. But yeah, no, I've ghosted more than 40 business books, which is crazy to say, because I remember when I wrote my first book, it took me 6 years to write my first book. It was a fiction book. It was called Winter's Mermaid. And I loved that book. It was a magical realism book because I love Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Like, I loved that book. I shopped it around in 2008 when the markets of New York were crashing, and it didn't get picked up. And then by the time everything quieted down, I was already establishing myself as a marketing copywriter. So I kind of stepped away from fiction. But because I had the blueprint to write a book, I was able then to just write business books. And in fact, one of my first books that I got commissioned to do helped me leave the classroom. I left the classroom right after Sandy Hook because there was a mix-up at the school I was teaching at. There was a mix-up, and we had 2 active shooter drills in the same day. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. I'm not, and I tell this, story a lot. Classrooms are no longer safe places, and I just didn't want to be there anymore. But all that aside, I have 40 business books. I just got done with one a little while ago, and I'm going to focus more on courses rather than books, because books take a very long time. Books can take forever to do. Courses, because I've been doing them since I won't say my age, but I've been doing courses for more than 20 years. So if someone asks me to write a course for them, I don't even think about it. I already get started. In fact, the way that I have my intake form, so the form that I ask you questions in when we first start working together, the onboarding process, it takes 20 minutes, and I have 35% of your course done from them. So I have it down to a science. It's not a one size fits all, but it's just, I know the questions to ask. I know where the content gap is going to be. I know where the challenges are going to be. and it just makes everything easier. So yeah, I can get your course done, 35% of your course done in 20 minutes. And I'm super proud of that because that took me forever to get it down to 20 minutes because I was hovering at 30 minutes for like a few years. And I was like, God, yeah, just the sweet spot is 20 minutes. So let's see. So on your iPhone, you look 31 to 35. Well, thank you very much. It is boiling hot. I'm in Miami. It is boiling hot right now. So I may be a little sweaty. It's boiling hot and it's raining. And I need to go and turn down the AC, but the dog is like right by it, and I want her to be quiet because sometimes she tries to join the live, and it's fun, but it's not always productive. But for the tech experts, so Canva, Udemy, use your iPhone. Your iPhone has a great camera. Your iPhone is got a great microphone. And if you go to a platform and learn their editing tools, you can put that as your videos. And I recommend putting your videos not directly in your modules, but I recommend putting them in the supplementary section just because it's easier. Thank you for that compliment. That's going to carry me that I look 31. I love that. You don't need to be a tech expert. Tech expert. So you need those three things. Your iPhone has your camera, your microphone. Canva can break up your design, and Udemy can host everything because the goal is to scale to the moon. When you focus more on value rather than hours, you can generate money 24/7. You can have passive income 24/7. Okay, so there is that. You don't need to be a tech expert. Just, practice on a few lives, practice on the recording, find your right angles, get yourself a ring light, the whole shebang, and you'll be fine. It's not that hard to figure out what technology on your phone is, although sometimes you do learn new things. Like I learned a few editing tricks this week, so that was kind of cool. So that's the first mistake is people going out and buying very expensive microphones. I bought a microphone for my podcast. It was only $9.99. I used it once and I realized that my phone was perfectly fine. I didn't need it. So I put it away. The second myth that we busted is creating a course is time consuming. If you're doing it on your own, creating a course is very, very time consuming. But like I said earlier, I've been generating courses for more than 20 years, 234, some for small businesses, some for corporations, some for the in-between. And my intake form takes 20 minutes and it gets 35% of your course done because in the 20 years that I've been doing this, I know where you're going to get stuck in your course. I know the type of questions and negative feedback you're going to get. Like, after you've ghostwritten 40 business books, you pretty much know like what the potholes are, so to speak. And I would say a lot of the books, maybe like a quarter, 25% of the books that I've ghostwritten have been in digital marketing and the digital marketing space. So the one thing that you learn about the digital marketing space is you have to stay on top of everything all the time. So the way that you do that isn't through research and looking things up, it's actually interacting with your clients. So what I always suggest to my clients is leave the course to me. And then you go and you interact with your clients, your community, your ecosystem, because that's how you're going to learn what's going on and what's interesting and what people are afraid of is listening to people. Because I always say this, people are always willing to talk. They just need you to listen. And that's just it. And that's part of market research is going out and asking people questions. Asking your niche questions. And that brings me to the third myth, the third thing that we need to work on, the third mistake that we have a cure for. A lot of people follow the field of dreams approach, which is if you build it, they will come. And that is not true. That is not true. You need to go small to go big. Okay. So that means you have to get so granular with your niche that you can pretend to have a conversation with them. You could fit into their jeans. You could go to coffee with them and you would talk nonstop. So the key with that is, and if you don't have a community on your own, like if you have your own community, it's easier, but you have to do market research. And I've done a couple of videos on market research. So basically market research is, and I'll tell you, and I won't say the name of the platforms because one of my videos got suppressed because I had a clip of something in it. Ow, my head is itchy. I dyed my hair this morning. Okay. I'm not going to answer that. That's rude. Okay. So you have to do what's called market research. And market research basically consists of asking 4 questions. So you go to a platform and you put, hey, I'm writing a course on XYZ. Schedule a time with me. Hold on. I'm building a course on XYZ. I would love to speak to anyone who's interested in this topic. Please DM me. It will only take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. Make sure that it's a short amount of time because people, I will tell you this from experience, people don't want to give you more than 20 minutes. And that goes for a lot of things, but when they are giving you their free time, they want to do it while they're WALKing the dog. And I'm saying that because the dog is here. When they're driving to work, when they are doing anything, people are willing to give you 20 minutes and then that's it. So for your market research, you have to make sure that your questions are very short. And I'm going to tell you the exact questions to ask. Ask them to describe their day in relation to your topic. So let's say you're a nutritionist. How would having perfect nutrition help you throughout your day? How, and most people will say, well, I just want to eat really well without thinking about food. A lot of people, like, the whole point of nutrition and learning how to eat properly and for your body and for your age is so that it can be done on autopilot. So a lot of people will say, well, I just want to be on autopilot with X, Y, and Z. That's their perfect day, is that they don't think about it. It's like the same with copywriting. Really good copywriting should be invisible. Really good nutrition tips should just be applied and not thought of. Remember, people don't really want to spend a whole bunch of time obsessing over things. They just want it, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat is like the mantra I use when I'm doing my emails, because I'm the email copywriter for a soccer team. So everything is rinse and repeat. So that's the approach you also have to take with market research. So what is your ideal day as it relates to XYZ? What are your pain points when it comes to XYZ? And don't say what keeps you up at night, because we are in a crazy time. Inflation, the job market, other things are keeping people up. I guarantee they're not being kept up thinking about X, Y, and Z. Okay. So make it so that it's very simple and very easy for them to answer. And then you say, I'm writing a course on X, Y, and Z. What would you like to see in the course? And let them, talk about it and all of that. And then say, well, how much would you pay for this course? And people are willing to tell you, especially Americans. I'm an American. My mother was from Ireland. My My dad's from Cuba. So as an American, I very much love talking about money. Even when I didn't have a dollar to my name not that long ago, I love talking about money. So people love talking about money. They love talking about prices, because another reason why you have to go small to go big is you have to stay within the price points of the niche that you are targeting, because you're not going to go to someone who shops at Walmart and says, here's this $250,000 Birkin bag and it has all these features. Someone who's shopping at Walmart is probably an outdoorsy person, probably someone on a tight budget. So they're going to be like, are you crazy? I'm not spending that much money on a bag. That's the price of a house. So when you know your niche, you'll know your prices as well. And, niches will talk about money within themselves. And a lot of times niches are willing to spend money on what their interests are. And I always use this example about, God, was it like 20 years ago? I went to Indianapolis to visit one of my college friends, and poor thing. Oof, poor thing. She poor thing. So I went to Indianapolis to visit her. And then while I was there, it turned out there was a Star Wars convention there. And I've never watched Star Wars. I only know the part where the gold robot and the white robot are fighting the black robot. And that the robots, the gold and the short white one, are walking down a hill. That's as much as I've seen of Star Wars. But when I tell you, when I went to Indianapolis, oh my God, it was crazy. The people were cosplaying. They were in I don't know what. Listen, please don't come for me. They were doing Jedis, I think. Jedis. I know the Stormtroopers because I know that song. But they were spending money not only to go to Indianapolis, but they were spending a lot of money on their costumes, and it was great. I love stuff like that. Like, I love seeing communities. I love people who maybe feel like outsiders or felt like outsiders. I love it when they find like their people, their quote unquote people. Like, that's really sweet to see. Be that as it may, niches have deep pockets for what really interests them, but don't count on it. Okay. Just because you think a niche is profitable doesn't mean that your product or service speaks to that niche. So I would say the biggest mistake is people not really taking their niches seriously. So I would do the market research, describe your ideal day as it relates to XYZ. Describe your ideal day as it relates to XYZ. What are your pain points? What would you like to see in the class? And then smash the questions of how much would you pay for it? And then I would say to ask the client or the person on the other end of the phone or the Zoom or whatever, if they would be your first client. And you would be surprised how many times people will say, yes, of course. Well, why not? And I don't advocate giving a discount for any courses whatsoever. I do not like the idea of discounting yourself. But if you design your course or I design your course, you should have a test group. Okay. You should really have a test group. And those can be the people that are in your market research. So ideal is about 10. So, 8, 20 would be perfect. But here's the thing. You have to make sure that there are people in the actual niche, because there are people who just want to be helpful. And there are so many people unemployed right now, poor things, who just are kind of sitting at home. They're a little bored and they want to talk to someone, which is why scammers love elderly people, so a lot of people are willing to talk to you, but unless they're in the niche that you're targeting, it's a waste of your time. Let's see. there are some people who say, well, I don't know if I want to do a course, is it really profitable to do a course? Courses are heading to a trillion with a T, dollars in 2032. So I would say right now, if you're not offering an online course, you are missing the opportunity because people don't buy right away. They kind of have to swirl around you, sniff around you. And if you're not established in the online course space, you know, you're going to have a hard time. If you're not established in the online course space, if you can't speak to your niche as if you're on a coffee date together, then you're just going to miss the opportunity. The market is now. I mean, it's climbing now. You need to be able to get in before the getting's good, to use an old Alabama expression. Get in before the getting gets too much. And now is actually a really great time because there are a lot of people who are using AI to write their courses, and the courses are trash. They are horrible. So people right now are desperate for human communication, human connection, fresh ideas. They're looking for marketing that speaks to them, because people are getting tired of the cash grabs. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like the tipping culture in America is getting insane. Like, you have to, like, I went to Starbucks this morning to get my first pumpkin spice latte of the season. Mind you, I can only drink caffeine like once a week. And, I didn't have to, but I tipped for them just handing me the coffee through the window, and it was like, God, so people are getting tired of cash grabs. Everything's expensive and people are getting tired of cash grabs, and that's totally understandable. So is your course going to be profitable if you design it for your niche and you market it for your niche? Then you can be one of the people who are very successful in the $1 trillion course industry. $1 trillion. Think about that. Trillion. I mean, that really is, working smarter, not harder. It's when, you see the wave of everything and you go towards the wave. And, that's really where it's at. Aren't profitable. Yeah, they're profitable. $1 trillion profitable. Here is another thing. In order for your course to be successful, it has to have a lot of information. So the more modules, the better, because you want people, you see value in the price. And the thing is that you do not, if you haven't worked with adults or you haven't, designed courses, you may think, oh my God, the more information, the better. And that's not true. You want to focus more on, you want to focus more on value rather than information, because information right now in 2024 is cheaper than table salt. And especially with AI, like, you can just go to AI and you can type something in and you get like a whole bunch of information. So information is not as valuable as it once was. Information is, again, cheaper than table salt. And what people really buy is transformation, and you need to have gone through the transformation yourself. You need to go from zero to hero based on this transformation, and you're going to take people through that transformation with you. So you no longer become the expert, but you become the birther of experts. And so people buy transformation and people buy access to communities. So imagine right now you have an issue. Let's say that you don't understand animation for new hire training, and you are staying up at night, you're getting really stressed about it, and you can just go to a hub where everyone there has had experience or is in the same boat, and they're willing to help you and they want to talk about it. Because what you have to remember about human nature is we love stories. So people love to tell their own stories. their own journeys. They love to share their journeys, and they love to, be at one with each other, especially about a topic that they really care about. So you are selling, again, transformation, you're selling community, and make sure that when you are focused on that, your information is very valuable. So I always say one idea per module. You can't have multiple ideas per module. Your learner has to exit the module feeling very confident in what they know. Very, very confident in what they know. You can't have people who are like, yeah, I'm supposed to learn X, Y, and Z. Actually, let's use this example. Let's say that you're marketing your course, or you're having a course marketed to you. Would you rather have a course that's being marketed to you with 10 bullet points? In this course, you're going to learn this, this, and that. Or would you rather have a course that's basically like, go from zero to hero in this XYZ space? You'd rather have the latter. People are very intrigued by transformation. And that's kind of what you need to focus on, is transformation, not at all costs, but transformation through community and valuable information. Okay, so that's what the focus needs to be on. You don't need to have a lot of information. You just need to have the right information at the right time and present it in the right way. And then access to a community that's also willing to help. You don't have to cover everything. And, if you have a course and you contract me and we start breaking it down bit by bit by bit, then, you can do a course that's like a one-on-one, a 101, like, let's just use Raygun. Breakdancing 101, how to get into the Olympics 101. Oh my God, I still cannot believe all of that happened. Anyways, so you can do a 101 and then bundle the courses together. And then that's how you get all your information out. If you are just a wealth of information, then create a series of courses. That will really be helpful for you. Let's see. So that's the cure, is break it down into more courses. Okay, let's see what else. Sorry, I have my notes. Okay, so a lot of people, especially when they come to me, they either just realize they need an online course and they want to be the first in their industry space, or they've gone to someone who's taken a one-size-fits-all approach, or they try to write the course themselves and they got stuck. And I would say that a lot of times, and I had to learn this the hard way. So I had a Jeep Patriot. And during the pandemic, I went and I got new tires, and I got them for a very reasonable rate. And it turns out they were reasonable because they were just, I am so lucky nothing happened to me during the pandemic when I was driving. So the tires just kept getting blown out. And so I would have to replace them with like brand new sturdy tires. And what's it called? One of my friends said to me, you're being penny wise and pound foolish. So yes, I had saved some money getting the tires from this place, but it wound up costing me more because I had to replace the old tires and then buy these brand new tires. Oh my God. And it was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. Driving, I live in Miami, and I was driving to Dania Beach during the pandemic because I was working for a telecom company and I was considered an essential worker. So I was spending a lot of money. However, okay, so not outsourcing is penny wise, but pound foolish. You have to spend money in order to make money. And that is part of what happens with outsourcing, is You, as a small business owner, need to focus on your clients. You need to focus on your ecosystem. You can't focus on doing a course, because I will tell you, within 20 minutes, I can have 35% of your course done, but that's because I've only been doing it for 20 years. So it will take you a very, very long time, and you may not be able to distinguish between valuable information and relevant information and just plain old information. Like, it's going to be tough for you. So there is that. Let's see. You don't have to do it solo. So outsourcing, like you feel overwhelmed, then you give it to someone else to do. You outsource it, and that's not a big deal. Do you have to have a huge following to sell your course? No. That's why niching is so important. You have to go small to go big, because, and I was saying this on one of my lives on Wednesday, it's better to have a video that has had, it is better to have a video that has 10 likes that have converted to sales than a video that has 10,000 likes and no sales. Like, the goal of your social media, the goal of your online course should be sales. It shouldn't be vanity metrics. You know, it's like a friend to all is a friend to none, like Sheena Shea. You want to be able to speak to only a certain group of people, because people who are passionate are willing to buy. Like, for example, I have my dog, and, you know, I'm willing to spend money on her. She has incredible health insurance. I mean, seriously incredible health insurance. She eats Royal Canin food. She has no less than 3 dog beds in my apartment. And she gets quality time. I take her to the pool with me. I take her to the PARK for her WALKs multiple times a day. We've already gone 3 times today, to give you an idea. So yeah, it is incredibly important to speak to your niche, because your niche are going to be your best salespeople. Your online course is going to be your 24/7 salesperson. And your niche is going to also be your sales team. So your course and your niche are going to be your sales team 24/7, because I don't know how I love to sleep. That's only recently though. But there are some people who can go off of 2 or 3. I mean, I don't know how. But your niche are going to be your best salespeople. So focus on your niche, learn their language, talk to them. And, you know, it's better to have 10 buyers for your course than, you know, 20 it's better to have 1 yes than 20 maybes, you know? So focus on the people who will for sure buy your course, and that's your niche. Let's see what else. Oh, here's a really good one. Do you have to be an expert in the whole process in order to sell a course? The answer is no. You just have to be one step ahead and be a master in that one step. So when I worked at the Spa magazine, magazines are a lot. Anyways, there was a lot of process. There were a lot of steps that went into getting a issue out. You know, we had the brainstorming session, we had the writing sessions, we had the editing, we had the inclusion of graphics. We had like, it was a lot of steps in the process to getting the magazine. Hold on 1 second. Good girl. So, but being an expert in any of those steps, like writing articles that sell, how to pitch an article, dealing with freelancers, editing in AP style, and then finding the right images at the right time for the right audience. Anything within those processes, any of those components would sell. Hands down would sell. So that's really what you're looking at is, you don't have to be an expert in the whole process, but you do need to be at least an expert in one of the steps in the processes. And that's going to really establish your reputation, because it's better to be known for doing one thing so well rather than being known to do a lot of different things. What is it? Jack of all trades, master of none. You know, focus on that. And then the other one is, does your course need constant updates? And the answer to that is your course should be updated at least once a year, because, during the pandemic, industries changed overnight. So a lot of times industries will change from one day to the next, especially with digital marketing. I can't imagine having a course on digital marketing in 2023 that all aspects of it are relevant in 2024. I just don't see it happening. But there you go. Those are the top 10 myths and their fixes. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, if you leave a comment on any of my videos that says free course template, I'll reach out to you. I'll ask you a few questions, and then we will get your template rolling. So there we go. Let me know what questions you have, and I have to go and WALK the dog. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday.